playoff game. Get this, they also missed the playoffs entirely in 2020 and now currently out of a playoff spot this season. Shannon, how much blame does Bill Belichick deserve for this record?
All of it. Skip, remember when we were talking about who gets the credit, and I gave Bill Belichick most of the credit?
Yeah.
Because guess what? He hired all the coaches. He brought in all the players. He drafted all the players. The free agents that came in, he was responsible for. He ran Tom Brady off.
He did.
He's responsible for that. So if I gave you the lion's share of the credit, I'm giving you all the blame because your pride, his stubborn pride, won't let him go outside of his little minions and hire somebody that's called plays, that's an offensive coordinator. Well, let me get Matt Patricia. He's a mechanical, electrical, nautical engineer in aeronautics. We're going to let him call plays, even though he's never been on the offensive side. Let me get Joe Judge. He was a special teams guy. He might call some plays, too. Mac Jones has regressed. Mac Jones looked like a very good quarterback, a very young, promising quarterback last season. And now he got two knuckleheads that never called plays before in their life because Coach Belichick pride. His pride, I want more credit than Tom Brady. He ran Tom off. He getting all of it. Because remember, he got those drafted those two tight ends, ended up cutting both of them.
He did.
Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, paid them a ton of money. They just some guys. Took Mr. Kraft's money and run. Mr. Kraft looking like, what Billy, that we call him Billy. What are we doing?
Now, what are you doing?
I'm messing up your money, Mr. Kraft. I gave you 6 in 20 years. That might be all I got for you. They ain't winning no championship anytime soon. And I think I still believe he's the best coach. But he did this. He made this mess. He shopped for all the groceries. He cooked all the groceries. He hired all the cooks to cook the groceries. No, he wearing this hat. All this. All this. 100.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your acknowledgement of that because I always gave Brady 75% of the credit. And the truth is, the reason they are who they're not is because Tom Brady is no longer there. And I still believe that he was a buffer in the locker room that allowed Bill to be Bill and coach old school football to the point that Tom would have to tell the locker room, just ignore him, let him be who he is because we'll figure this out ourselves. And they always did figure it out because it was a Patriots dynasty. And I'll give Belichick 25% of the credit for coaching the defense because I think he is an all-time great, one of the top 2 or 3 defensive minds in the history of the game. But as the CEO, as the overseer, as the head coach, I always told you from the start, I thought Bill Walsh was a little better overall than Bill Belichick. But I got to know Coach Walsh and got very close to him in the end, so maybe I'm not objective about that. But I think I'm objective about this one to the point that it's just not the same without number 12.
No.
And even though both the teams are now 6-6, Bucks and Patriots, it still feels like Brady's team's got a shot and this team doesn't have any shot. It just feels like that.
Because Brady got competent offensive coordinator. Byron Leftwich is competent.
That is correct.
Those two other guys. Skip, at the highest level, Skip, I can see if you want to say in high school. I get that, or junior high or Pop Warner. I get that. Skip, at the highest level, a guy that's never, ever called an offensive play.
You know what? That's a clown show. That is preposterous. That is laughable. And I still told you, as I said before the season started, I think Belichick at least wanted his hand in the offense so he could sell himself ultimately as a Tom Landry figure who ran both sides of the ball because Tom was a defensive mind who called all the plays on offense. So the point is that I still think Belichick has huge input into the play calling, even if he doesn't exactly choose the play. I think he's constantly on the headset to Coach Pencil over there. Matt Patricia saying, run it or throw it. You can pick the play you want, but just run it or throw it.
Whatever you think about Josh McDaniel as a head coach,
I agree.
There's no denying his prowess as an offensive genius. The way he could design plays, the way he could draw them up, and he had Tom Brady to implement those. And even when he didn't have Tom, Skip, he had Matt Castle. He made Matt Castle a lot of money. He got Jimmy G paid. He got Jacoby Brissett, keeps a job.
No, those are good points. I agree with all of them.
Skip, and Mac Jones last year. Mac Jones, Skip, I told you, I thought he was the most ready to play. Josh McDaniels, that was Josh McDaniels, and now you get two guys. How did that previous job work out?
Nope and nope. Yep, I got it. And yet, poor Mac Jones, I told you, in the end, he'll always leave you wanting a little more, like he'll be this good, but he won't be that guy.
Right.
Like, I feel sorry for him trying to replace that guy.
And then, I was trying to provide a spark. He's like, throw the ball, the quick game sucks.
Yeah. He's screaming about it on the sideline. He kind of went Brady-esque and lost it, and I don't blame him because that offense is abysmal. It's now ranked down in the 20s in points scored, yards, and Pro Football Focus grade. It's in the 20s.
They're averaging 1.2 offensive touchdowns since week 7 tied with the Broncos and the fewest in the NFL. And we know what the Broncos are. Mac Jones has 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah, and his QBR has plummeted down to 33rd out of 38 qualified.
Skip, but look at Skip. That man hasn't got worse from last year. It's just the people that's in his ear has gotten worse. The scheme that they're running is worse.
Yep. So at some point, Robert Kraft, who became a very successful and wealthy man by making very smart and tough decisions, is going to have to make a very hard call here on Bill Belichick at some point. And I don't know how you get out from under if you encourage Bill to look for another job, because I promise you somebody else would snap up Bill Belichick in a heartbeat and say, well, let's try it here.
Let him.
Yeah.
And they ain't gonna win nothing. And you ain't got no quarterback. I don't care who you snap up. Snap up all you want to. He not winning unless he get a top flight quarterback.
Yep.
And tell you what, you can get a top. Why didn't you have a Matt Patricia and Joe Judge call Brady for Tom Brady? No, you can't do. And I'm not. Look, Skip. Coach Belichick knows more football, forgot more football than I'll ever know. But in this situation,
I'm not sure about that. But go ahead.
But Skip, what would make you think that you could take a guy that's primarily been a special teams guy and a guy that's primarily and exclusively been a defensive guy and say, you know what, guys, I'm going to put this on you. I want you guys to call plays. Oh, we all got a little hand in it. Yeah, and it's a mess. Yeah, all three of you got some hands and it's a mess.
I got it, but it's Belichick trying to repolish his genius.
Yes.
Watch what I can. Nobody else could do this, but I will pull it off. He's saying, I can take any old defensive coach and call plays, and I'll make this a success because my handprints, my fingerprints will be all over this.
How's defense looking? At the end of the day, you can say, oh, Coach Belichick, genius. But them Richard Seymours and the Ty Laws and the Rondé Harrison and the Teddy Bruschi and the Willie McGinnis, those guys could play. The Mike Vrabels, those could play. Those guys, they were solid players. We got to stop the notion. Well, he ain't have no LT. You don't have to have LT. You get enough smart, good players, and you can win. Those guys, they were never out of place. They were where they're supposed to be. When you're supposed to set the edge, you set the edge. If you're supposed to be in the A gap, they were in the A gap. If you play in cover 2, they wasn't trying to play quarters coverage. They played cover 2. They played their assignments. Now, teams go up and down the field on this defense.
What happened in the playoff game they played last year against Buffalo? It was a disaster.
They finally forced Buffalo to punt this year.
They finally forced them to punt. Good point. That's what's happening.
But this is Coach Belichick. He got to wear this hat. Like I said, Skip, I gave him the lion's share of the credit because all the coaches he hired, all the players he brought in, be it free agency or drafted, all the decisions, the key decisions, Skip, go for it on 4th down. I'm going to challenge it. What defense we want to run. He subbed it. When Kyle Arrington was struggling, he inserted Malcolm Butler. I gave him credit for that. Okay?
You did. At some point, he's going to be ex-Patriot coach Bill Belichick.
Skip, I think it's just unrealistic to expect for him to continue to win at the level that he would, because I don't believe we'll ever see that again. I mean, did we even think anybody would ever get close to Coach Shula?
No.
He's only, like 20 victories behind Coach Shula, and I thought nobody would get that close.
Because of that guy who's now down in Tampa Bay.
Well, if he goes somewhere, he got to get that record, Skip. Because I believe if Coach Belichick get this record, ain't nobody gonna ever break it.
No. Well, you thought the first one would broken.
But Skip, what's the likelihood of you going to get a Tom Brady and a guy's going to win you 12, 13, 14 games a season?
Agreed.
For 20 years.
Yeah. No.
For 20 years.
The Patriots have only scored 20 offensive touchdowns this season, guys.
The Cowboys got 28 in 6 weeks.
A lot less than Tom Brady.